Hi, my name is Miss Lynch, and I'm a violist, and I'm up in the Sierras playing a music festival. I also am a string teacher as part of the Palo Alto Unified School District string program. I'm Miss Lynch again, and I teach with a wonderful violinist named Miss Mumford. And the two of us teach violin, viola, and cello in the Palo Alto Unified School District program. So first and foremost, I'm wanting you and your parents to see this video. It's about keeping your instrument safe. Stringed instruments are very fragile, and you need to take certain steps to make sure that your instrument is safe at home and at school. So one thing you're going to need to do at home is find a place where the instrument can stay stable, away from traffic, away from pets, and away from siblings. Okay, it's really important that you never, ever loan your instrument for someone else to play it other than a professional or a teacher. Okay? So I have a violin here, and it's stored safely on its back. Sometimes you can store instruments that are on the ground in the house on their side in a corner where nobody will accidentally kick it or nothing will fall on it. Okay? So you also want to keep your instruments away from extreme temperatures and excessive sunlight. So you notice I'm in the shade here, so nothing's going to happen. The sunlight and the heat impact the wood, and the cold impacts the wood in that it heat makes it swell and the cold makes it shrink, and that impacts a lot about a stringed instrument. We'll talk more about that later in the year. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you keep your instrument in the case when you're not playing it, because if you put it on your lap, it might slide off. If you put it on the counter, it might slide off. If you hang it on the stand or you hang your bow on the stand might fall over. So keep your instrument when you're not practicing and when you're not playing it in the case securely with the zipper shut and the locks closed. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and show you how to handle the instrument. So as you can see here, this is flat. This is the back of the instrument. It's actually not totally flat, but it doesn't have the strings and the tailpiece and so forth. So I'm unzipping one side and then the other. And you may have to make sure that this flap is open and not snapped shut. And so I'm opening the case, and you say, what violin? So there is a blanket over the violin, and there is also a violin soft cloth cover. Okay, so we have right here something holding the violin in with a snap. And what you need to do when you take the violin out is make a scoop with your hand and go underneath the neck and pull it out and take it out of its soft case. And put the case back in. So, again, scooping it up, bringing it out, turning it to its side. Now my arm is getting ready to go over the jaw rest and the tailpiece. And this is a safe way if you need to walk somewhere in your house to hold the instrument so nothing happens to it. Okay? So if you play the violin or viola, you're going to have a shoulder rest. And I want you to see one end is wider, this end is wider. And the wider end goes underneath the jaw rest. Okay? So I'm going to put this end on first, holding the instrument by the neck, and I put that end right in the middle, and then I put it against my belly button, and then I put the other end on and slide it up, just like that. And then I put it back in safe position with the shoulder rest on. Now, taking the shoulder rest off is way easier than putting it on. But if you do what I asked you to do, which, see, it's right in the middle, put the feet on first, put the instrument My feet aren't on. There we go. Put the instrument against your tummy and then slide up the other side. Okay? And now your violin is ready and it's safe. Okay, now if you look here, the bows are securely in, right? My friend has 2 bows, and I'm going to pull it out here. And look, what would happen if I pulled the bow out like that? Would I break it at the tip? You bet I would. It's very fragile. So I back out, putting the bow in reverse, and I take it out that way. Okay? I'm going to place the violin safely in the case while I talk about the bow. So every time we use the bow, we rosin it. But before we rosin it, we need to tighten so the hair doesn't touch the wood. The hair is kind of loose. It's kind of in the relaxed mode. And you can see I'm going clockwise away from me until the hair is tight enough. Now, if I kept on doing this, it'd look like a bow and arrow. And you don't want to do that because that'll break the stick. Yeah? Okay. So, now it's tight enough. And you notice that I'm putting the bow hair on my shirt to see if I tightened it enough. And the reason I don't put it on my arm is the skin oils get into the split ends of the bow hair and make your bow not be able to engage the string. So I'm taking the rosin out. And you notice that it's nice and flat. There's not a groove there. And I have the frog like a club. Like I could push on it and still hang on. This is by no means a good bow grip, but it's a good rosin grip. So I take the rosin and I'm going to hit it bump it against the silver here. So that cracks it a little bit and loosens the rosin. I generally rosin the frog area, and then the middle, and then the tip, and then all the way down. And what happens is the rosin goes into the split ends of the horsehair and makes the bow engage the string so the string vibrates. Very, very, very important. Okay, so I'm putting the rosin back because I'm not going to use it again today. And this is a nice rosin case because it makes all the material which protects your fingers from the rosin and your hands. It just slides right in. And I'm going to put that away. And so I'm ready to go. I have my bow, my index finger and my thumb behind. It's safe. Or I could walk with it like this. It's safe. I have my right elbow over the tailpiece. And it's really important that you know this. The reason why you never ever set your instrument on this side. Here's the jaw rest. It's not glued to the instrument. Here is the tailpiece holder and the button. The button's not glued and the tailpiece is not glued. The bridge is not glued on and the strings go into the pegs. The pegs have to turn so they're not glued and the strings are not glued. And inside the instrument is a piece of round cylinder wood that touches the top of the instrument and the bottom. And what that does is it assists in the vibration of the wood, both at the top and the bottom, and that's not glued. So when you have an instrument with everything like that, most of it not glued, you need to take care of it. So we've gone through the steps of keeping your instrument safe in the house, keeping it out of the weather, keeping it away from pets and others who are really curious about it and want to play it. Don't let them. At JLS Middle School, I had a violinist play a viola and she broke it and it was expensive to fit. So I'm going to go in backwards. Here we go. The instruments. I'm holding it by the neck. I have to wipe the rosin off the bow. And I have to wipe the rosin off the strings and off the instrument. If you get too much rosin in your instrument and in your bow, it inhibits the instrument's ability to vibrate. Okay, now I'm going to undo the bow. And I'm going to go in drive so the tip stays safe, and then here. Okay? Now, the shoulder rest comes off next. Again, safety is upside down belly button, and just slide the shoulder rest off. And this particular case has a shoulder rest holder. That's wonderful. And now we're going to wrap the instrument in the wonderful silk scarf and place the instrument back in the case after wiping off the strings. And then we put the blanket over the instrument, keeping the wipe cloth up here, and close the case, and do the zipper here, and get ready for the flap. And I'm going to do the snap on the flap. So now you guys are ready to keep your instrument safe at home at school. I am really looking forward to meeting you.